Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Orochimaru's Son with multiple Kekkei Genkais. Part 7 guys. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this with all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Genius with a stealing bloodline ability over on Anime King 2. Yes, that's right, I indeed have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. I also post What If Naruto Was a prodigy from the Senju, Uchiha and Uzumaki clan. So go ahead and enjoy those guys. So yeah, without wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last part that we left off, both Naruto and Fu were brought towards the underground facility, as Naruto figured that they were being taken to the Hokage. So with that, he told Fu to just go along with it, by giving her a look. So she went along with it, but still she was prepared to fight her way out of there until she saw the Hokage and Jiraiya, and Kakashi Hatake as well. This would be dangerous. Not to mention, she noticed that there were seals around the room. Could they know? Could they know who she is? As Naruto stepped in and sat down, gestured for her to sit down as well. As the Hokage began his little interrogation, but it was not needed because the moment he sat down, Naruto revealed everything. He told him that he was Orochimaru's son. He told him that Orochimaru used him for several missions to kill and slaughter people, and he was tired of it, as he just wanted a normal life. Him and Fu here just want to be civilians, and she didn't want to go back to Taki. The people there use her as a monster. Fu realized where he was going as she played onto their sympathy as well, as despite not knowing them or trusting them yet, the Hokage, Jiraiya and Kakashi felt sympathy for them. However, Kakashi could not forget what he did at Land of Wave. Naruto told him that he was not exactly right in the head. He has done so much things he did not see the line between good and evil anymore. It was just a mission, and sometime he ended up losing it. Kakashi could understand something like that. Stress of being a, well, child soldier would be definitely detrimental to someone's health, but still. However, Naruto promised to give them everything, so he did. He told them about the invasion. He told them everything that regard the attack on Konoha and what they could do. Hiruzen would have to talk to the Sand about this, as Naruto told them that the leader of the Sand was long dead. Him and his father had hunted them down and killed them. However, Naruto told him that he had to go back, because if he did not, Orochimaru would become suspicious, and once he becomes suspicious, he would know that something is off. And also, Naruto told him that Orochimaru placed something inside his heart, so he cannot actively defy him, because if he did, he would kill him, and Naruto would not be doing anything about it. Hearing that, seeing that this boy was a source for them to get information on how to stop the Snake Sani once and for all, they didn't want him to die, so they had to release him. Upon returning back towards their home, Fu had a chance to talk to Naruto as she asked him what he was doing, what he was playing at. As Naruto turned towards her with a smile, Fu then realized something rather drastic right there and then. He did not get angry at Mito. No, he did not. In fact, it was a plot. He did it so Kakashi could sense him. He plotted all of this. Fu sometimes forget how smart he was because he acted like a, well, idiot most times. But he was planning something big and something dangerous, as you remember, when he told her that he was going to kill Orochimaru. He never specified on why or how he would do so, but he said that he was going to do so. As Naruto told her that she can stay by his side as his co-leader, helping him take over the Land of Sound. As Fu simply shrugged, she was with that. Arriving back, Orochimaru questioned the both of them as they informed him about everything. It was a good thing that they were not seen by Teiwaya or anyone from Orochimaru forces. So yeah, they had a clean motive of not being anywhere near the Hokage or anyone. So with that, Orochimaru told them about the final plan and what they were supposed to do. As Naruto took Fu as they made their way at the village, Mito had found Jiraiya of the Sannin as she was being trained by him, as Sasuke was being trained by Kakashi, while Harrison was preparing what to come. As Baki arrived to his office, Baki unaware why he was called and confused. However, he was going to be told a shocking truth about his Kazekage, something that he was suspecting that something was wrong. After all, Raza has been acting rather strange, yes, really strange lately. So with that, Harrison told him what was totally going on. Throughout the month, Naruto and Fu practiced kissing, as she had read about it in a book. And besides, Naruto was the only one around here that she would allow to get so close with her in the first place. But the both of them was not sure what they were supposed to feel, the both of them unaware of the feelings that they should actually feel. But it was nice. With that, the time went by rather quickly as the Chunin exams came back around, the finals to be exact. The place was buzzing with activity as they arrived early. Mito came by her favorite ramen stand when she saw him. She scowled in anger as she wondered what the hell he was doing here, as Naruto simply waved at her in a kind gesture. Seeing that he was going to be her opponent, she decided not to pay him any attention as she went to eat her ramen. As Naruto said goodbye when he was leaving, further pissing her off. She did not like him, as she did not like that he was trying to be nice. It's not like the both of them are going to be friends or anything. He should just stay out of her way. So with that, the time came around as everyone was gathered. The people are buzzing with activity as they want to see the matches take place. The first match was a long one between Temari and Shikamaru, as Naruto did not find that interesting. The next match was between Fu and Sasuke. Fu and Sasuke made their way down there, as Sasuke came back quite ready and pumped. Actually a lot stronger than he last was. Yes, he was ready to dominate her and dominate the entire exam. Many people had a lot of bets on him. However, the problem was, several Taki ninjas were here. Yes, several ninjas from other villages had came as citizens to just watch the exam. But in actuality, they want to see the power of this Your Genins going on to Chunins. They saw Fu as they were shocked. They couldn't believe it, as they plotted to subdue her once this was over. They were angry though, that she think that she could just get away from being their dog, unaware of the problem they were gonna start, which is gonna result in their life being ended. So with that, Sasuke went up against Fu. The match was brutal for Sasuke. Fu did not hold her punches back so much. Sasuke might be strong, but Fu was on another level completely than him. She dominated him. She treated him like he was a mere child. Orochimaru frowned as he saw her going a bit too far. He had warned her not to harm or even kill Uchiha. After all, he wanted him for his own plans. But Fu got another order from someone else, and besides, she listened to this person a lot more than Orochimaru. Sasuke was knocked out, not before she whispered to him that he was weak, and he would never be strong enough to get his revenge. He then proceeded to pass out. With that said and done, Naruto's name was called afterwards to face off against Mito, as the both of them proceed to make their way down there. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place, check it for yourself, and don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series, and yeah, enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, wasting no more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode begin? Now guys, everyone was quiet. The place was dead silent, as everyone looked down towards the two contestants down in the ring. Mito was trying to figure this guy out. Sometimes he seemed to be crazy, sometimes he seemed to act so nonchalant. She just could not figure him out. However, after seeing what was just done to Sasuke by his friend, or maybe partner, seeing that she saw them kiss, she was a bit worried. However, she shook her head. She was Mito Uzumaki, soon to be future Hokage. She couldn't let someone like this bring her down. He was just a stepping stone in her goal of achieving the greatest rank in history. She would not let him bring her down. As she calmed herself, she was also trained by Kakashi Hatake. who was said to be a legendary ninja, not to mention another legendary ninja, one of the Sanins. She was ready for this. She just had to put confidence in herself and prepare herself for this guy. The match was started as Mito waited. Usually she would rush in. However, she was waiting for him to do something. She was not sure about what he could do. His fight with Kiba did not give off that much. But she knew that he was strong, incredibly so. All these damn stone ninjas seemed to be immensely strong. As she wondered what kind of heinous plan was going through his head at the moment. Meanwhile, inside of Naruto's head, 1, 2, 3, go. La 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 la, da da da, la 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 la, da da da, la 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 la, da da da. Naruto kept on repeating that over and over in his mind as he started to bob his head to the nonsense. Mito blinked in confusion as she wondered what was wrong with him. However, seeing that he was not doing anything, she might as well end this. With that, she brought her hand together. 5 clones poof in existence. Said clones rushed forward as they all pulled out shurikens. They launched it towards them. All the weapons came, and everyone watched, expecting him to flash away, expecting him to move. But what happened shocked everyone as the weapons all stabbed into his flesh. Everyone, literally everyone, was shocked. As they looked down, couldn't believe what they were seeing. He had enough time to move, but he did not react in the slightest. Up in the stands, what the hell was that? Kiba said, as he couldn't understand what just happened. When he went up against that guy, he was so cold and unfeeling, and yet he just stood there and got hit with so much shurikens. There was no way that he could win this match now. His arms and leg were pelted by the shed shurikens. One even hit him in the cheek. Another one slashed his forehead. It did not pierce his head though, but it slashed it, causing blood to run down. As there was 2 in his stomach, 1 in his right shoulder, 1 dangerously close to his heart. But yet he still did not even react. Mito stood there shocked. Even her clones could not move at the moment, unable to fathom what was going on. Why didn't he move? He did not even try to move. Up in the stands, I knew it from the beginning. Something is seriously wrong with that child, Kurenai said. After feeling his killer intent in the preliminary, she knew that child was... something was deeply wrong with him. And this further cement that by him not moving and just getting stabbed all over, this was not what none of them expected. It doesn't make any sense, Asuma said. He doesn't even react. Like it's not painful. Kakashi stood there quiet. None of them were aware of the deal that Naruto had made with the Hokage, himself being there, and Jiraiya. However, Kakashi was a bit angry about Sasuke's condition. The girl had really laid it in thick, and yet they wanted to join Konoha. Kakashi just had a bad feeling about this. He was sure that the Hokage or Jiraiya did not trust them 100%. However, this was a Chunin exams, and if she held back to an extent that Orochimaru was not comfortable with, perhaps he would suspect something. And if there was a chance of Orochimaru escaping and find out that these two betray him, they were as good as dead. So maybe that was the case. After all, she had laid it down thick on Tenten as well. Maybe that's just the way she fight. But for now, he wondered what is going to happen. As for Fu, as she glanced down, seeing Naruto shocking the entire crowd, she simply rolled her eyes. Back down in the stadium, Naruto seemed to snap back into focus, like he was never there to begin with, as his mind just came back. He looked over himself. Ouch! What kind of person attacks someone when they're doing something? What the hell were you doing? She asked. It's not my fault that you didn't move. I was singing, said Naruto. You were singing? Yeah, in my head. Oh, you probably wouldn't know that, said Naruto. After all, it's not like you're in my head, said Naruto with a chuckle. Yeah, I was right. You're crazy. Kami, said Naruto, cursing to the heavens. Why do people keep on saying that? You pretend to be crazy and yet they think you're crazy. Ah. Mito was confused as she watches Naruto pull out the shurikens and toss them to the ground. Instantly, his wounds healed. It didn't even take a second, the moment they came out, it just healed instantaneously. She was shocked by that. "Oh yeah," said Naruto Sr. looking at him. "I can heal, just like you. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Normal ninjas have to go to doctors," said Naruto with a laugh. "What are you?" said Mito. "What am I?" "You really want to know what am I?" said Naruto. As she just looked at him, as Naruto stepped forward. "I am Santa Claus." What? Everyone's sweat dropped at that. As Mito looked at him. "You heard me," said Naruto. "I'm Santa." "What's Santa?" "Huh. Well, it seems I am crazy," said Naruto. "What?" she said, confused. "You see, my head is kind of different from everyone else. I hear things that other people don't. It might explain why you don't know what Santa Claus is." "Never mind," said Naruto. "Why don't we begin this fight? After all, he vanished." As Mito felt a hand rest on her shoulder, her eyes widened in shock. "I've been looking for a good warm-up," said Naruto. Mito quickly snapped into focus as she brought her arm up and slapped his hand away. She then lashed out her other fist that aimed straight towards Naruto's face. However, he diverted her fist to the side. But Mito did not let that deter her though as she spun. Her back heel came up and whipped across his face as he ducked. Naruto lashed out and grabbed her heel. He then yanked on it, causing her to fall right on top of him. However, he rolled, flipping her as he slammed her on the ground. Mito was shocked all of that happened in just a second, as he was now on top of her. "Hi there," said Naruto. She quickly brought her knee up as she slammed it right into his stomach as she pushed him off of her. He rolled as she jumped to her feet. She brought her hand together as 15 clones appeared. They all surrounded Naruto as they all pulled out kunais. They all rushed forward and attacked. What followed was Naruto dissembling all of them. With just one hand, he whacked and slapped them out of reality. Once he was done, he stood there, as Mito was already upon him, using his distraction to gain footing. She slammed her fist into his stomach, blasting him towards the wall. Once he was close enough, she rushed forward. "It's over," she said, as she pulled her fist back before throwing it, gathering chakra into her hand to enhance her punch. As Naruto rolled away, the wall exploded by the force. As Naruto saw the cracks spread through it, her chakra control was awful, as he knew that she did not intend to use so much for just one punch. Well, she is a Jinchuriki. As Naruto looked towards her with a smile. "You're a bit too slow to actually hurt me," said Naruto. "And you talk too much," she said. The ground beneath him burst open. A fist was coming right towards his face. You clever girl." Bam! Naruto was blasted off his feet as he was punching to the ear. Mito was not finished though, as she created a clone that threw her up. She wrapped wires around Naruto's stomach. The clone then yanked on said wires as it spun him. She created 2 more clones as they jumped on the wall and jumped off. The first one delivered a brutal kick. The second one delivered a brutal punch. As the clone below kept on spinning him while the other 2 beat living crap out of him. By the time they were done, Uzumaki finished in combo barrage. The both of them slammed down on him hard. His body was sent spiraling as he slammed into the ground, cracking it with tremendous force. Everyone was astonished, especially majority of the ninjas and the civilians. After all, Mito had been a nuisance to them. Most of them saw her as the Kyuubi child, the demon. While not outright attacking her or harming her, their glares and their talks, their whispers, that was enough. However, they did not realize that she's become an actual kunoichi. And the ninjas, yes, some of them start to show respect for that. She's gotten stronger, many people whispered, as she was on her way to becoming Hokage. After all, that is what she wanted. Some of them dread the thought of that, for her becoming their boss. However, she was a fellow ninja of Konoha. It's not like they could attack her without severe backlash on their part. Not to mention how strong she is right now. Even the proctor jumped down. It seems that the match was over. However, he was stopped, so was everyone else. Whoa, that combo was awesome. As Naruto picked himself up, everyone saw as his right arm seemed to be dislocated and he was hunched over. That is when he pulled himself back and there were several creaking sounds, like his body was snapping back into motion as he snapped his arm around. A grin on his face. Everyone grimaced at that. Wasn't that painful, they thought, yet he did it with a smile. As Naruto looked down and spoke to himself. Oh yes, you will be good for my future plan, Naruto said to himself. He then looked back up towards her. Mito on the other hand was sweating a bit as she looked towards him. How? That wasn't possible after all of that. He just got back up like it was nothing. What was he? She thought to herself. He could heal. He could snap his bones back into their sockets. Like it was nothing. Hey, are you Ajinjuliki? She asked in a quiet tone. Ajinjuliki? Oh no, said Naruto. Then how? Are you standing after all of that? Oh, you mean after that beatdown that you just gave me? She nodded her head. Well, to put it quite simple, you're kind of weak, said Naruto. Mito, I snap hearing that. What did you just say? I said you're kind of weak, Naruto shouted out. She lost it, rage. This bastard. Her hair separated into 9 pieces. Up in the stance. Kakashi sighed. He was reminded so much of Kushina that it hurt. She was like an exact miniature copy of her, with her red hair and also her personality. And not to mention her chains. It seems like she's gotten a lot better at them. Lord Jiraiya had really helped her a lot. Despite not being able to do it himself, he spent enough time with Kushina to be able to, well, help her with her chains, and how for her to properly form them. Mito abandoned all thought as she rushed forward in rage. The rage getting the better of her, as that Uzumaki strength exploded out. She rushed forward as Naruto ducked. He dodged as she attacked. A reckless abandonment. Naruto was laughing the entire time, dodging her attacks as she punched and twisted and punched. However, when her chain wrapped around his stomach, Naruto looked down. Oh shit, he said. Yes. Oh shit, she said. She then proceeded to slam him into the wall several times. The final one caused Naruto to break through. As Mito stood there panting a bit. That should do it, she said to herself. There was no way in hell he could just get up back from that. It's not possible, she thought. As she waited, as she saw the rubbles being moved. Everyone watched in shock. Up in the stands. How is this possible, said Kurnai. How is he just receiving those injuries and just recovering so quickly? It seems he has a healing factor, Asuma said. A healing factor like none I've ever seen before. He can heal in a fraction of a second. Not to mention his pain tolerance seemed to be extremely high. I doubt torture would work on him, unless it's something extremely gruesome, said Asuma as they continued to watch. Down below, as Naruto pulled himself back up, Mito looked at him like he was crazy. How are you still standing? You're strong, said Naruto. I have no doubt that in the coming years, you're going to be a monster in power. However, you see, I'm a different kind of being. I'm not sure if I should be classified as a human. What? You heard me, said Naruto. Comparing yourself to me at this moment is like comparing an ant to a hurricane. A bit cocky, aren't you? Oh no, I'm not being cocky. I'm just stating the truth. After all, when you can do something like this, he was gone. You will know that you've reached my level. She blinked in shock as she turned, but only thing she felt was pain. She looked down to see his fist in her stomach. She could not breathe. As she tried to get some air, but she could not feel it entering her body. She could not feel her lungs gathering breath. All she could feel was pain. His face had sunk so deep in her gut. The force seemed to explode out of her back. Blood leaked from her mouth and started to drop on the ground as Mito dropped to her knees. One punch. How is it possible, she thought, as she fell over to the ground. Upon pulling his hand back, Naruto's hand was completely black. His skin had taken on a complete blackish metal color that was no normal flesh and bones. And not to mention the amount of force that he punched her with. She was just not ready for something like that. However, she was in agonizing pain. She remembered what she was taught by Jiraiya. As she started to summon up that power, she started to bring it out. Sorry, said Naruto. I'm afraid it's not time for that. Mito was unable to tap into the fox power as Naruto chopped her in the neck, knocking her out cold. Everyone was shocked. This entire time he was just toying with her. She might have gotten strong, but this guy was something else. As many of the ninjas were quite worried. They had never seen such a powerful ninja before amongst the younger generation in a minor village like the Land of Sound. That was just ridiculous. As Naruto was announced the winner, before the cheers could go on though, Orochimaru decided to make his debut. As he figured that was enough, he had told Naruto to kidnap the girl. Akatsuki be damned, he would use the Nine Tails against them. He would harness the power of the beasts. Granted, Orochimaru feared the organization, seeing that he was, well, running from them. However, with Naruto, the power of the Nine Tails and the power of the Seven Tails on his side, he would crush the Akatsuki. Yes, soon, everyone will be bowing to him. As he obtained the perfect body, he would be an immortal being that transcends time itself. No one, the Akatsuki, no foes would ever stand in his way ever again. Orochimaru thought. As the invasion began, chaos quickly ensued. As feathers put everyone to sleep, explosions could be heard as the walls started to be broken down. However, something was wrong. The moment the snakes got a few feet within the village, massive explosions rained down on the reptile, blowing the thing to pieces. However, Orochimaru did not see that. What he was focusing on was killing Sarutobi. Sarutobi had personally not let any of the envoys enter into the space that he was fighting the Sannin in, as they were just getting away by now. Sarutobi had seen this coming a long time now, and he would finish what he started by killing Orochimaru. The problem was Naruto did not tell him about the reanimations. Yes, as Naruto did not tell him about that on purpose. Thus, as the Sound Force set up the barrier trapping Hiruzen inside with Orochimaru, he was met with a nasty surprise. But the problem was the Sand Forces quickly attacked the Sound Ninjas, fighting alongside the Konoha Ninjas, as Baki had quickly spoken to them all over the time about what really was going on. As for Gaara wanted none of this. This was all a waste of his time. And now, Baki wanted him to defend this village. That was something that he was not gonna do. So he decided to leave. Kankuro and Temari saw that he was leaving as they went after him. Gaara, wait, said Temari. We have to help. Remember, Baki told us change of plans as they stopped in the forest. I will not waste my time here helping. The Konoha ninjas, the ones I have wanted to fight, have already been taken out. So get out of my way before I turn my wrath upon you too. Temari and Kankuro backed away. That is when Kankuro heard something as he turned to see his sister. What the hell? Someone stood behind her. The person had a hand around her throat and held on to her tightly. Who are you? Kankuro said. Gaara turned towards him as he saw the person holding on to his sister. She tried to move, but she could not. Something was wrong. She was slowly losing her strength. Unknown to her, there was a purple marking spreading into her arm. The person was wearing all black, with a strange mask that covered his entire face. His eyes were even covered as well. They had no idea how he could see out of that. Transform. What? Said Kankuro. I'm not talking to you. Be quiet. Before I snap her neck. A fearful look was in Temari's eyes. Kankuro grit his teeth. This guy. The way he held Temari one snap and it would be over. But he couldn't allow her to die. He had to do something. You. Transform. And turn your wrath up against Konoha. Do it. Now. Gaara turned his wrath upon this individual. And what's stopping me from killing you right here and now? For telling me what to do. Because if you do that, if you even try, I'll snap her neck. And what makes you believe I care about her? As a hurt look was in Temari's eyes. Ah, the wicked cold-hearted Jinchuriki. However, are you really so cold-hearted enough to let me snap your sister's neck? You always want to be alone, right? But you're never truly alone. Your sister is always there. Always there despite you not tolerating her presence most of the time. But still, she's family. Are you really gonna make me kill her? A pleading look was in Temari's eyes. As Gaara had a look of nonchalance on his face. Gaara! Kankuro shouted at him. She's your sister. It's Temari. Gaara looked towards him with a frown, but he said nothing as he looked back towards the individual. I said, transform. Now! The man shouted. All this time Kankuro had sent his puppet underneath the ground. As he finally felt it. The puppet had been preparing itself. He only had one shot to do this. He had to do it perfectly. However, the person seemed to twist. Kankuro knew that something was going to happen as his puppet came out. The blade trying to slice right through the man. Temari screamed as a person threw Temari right into the incoming path. Kankuro's eyes went wide as he watched his own puppet blade stab right into her arm. The individual shot forward in blinding speeds. Gaara's hand came up but the person disappeared and appeared behind Gaara. As he tried to turn, however, once he did, a fist slammed into his face. Said fist blew Gaara straight through the foliage and sent him sailing. Gaara slammed through about 5 trees as he came to a stop unconscious. The person sighed. Guess it had to be done the hard way. He jumped away as Kankuro's puppet almost encircled him. Heh, nice try, but too slow. The person then vanished. It's gonna be okay, Temari, said Kankuro, as he quickly pulled out his pouch. Said pouch had medical supplies. Gaara, she said, her eyes looking towards the foliage. Whatever that person did, he sapped her strength, as she felt so weak. They turned their gaze towards the foliage as they felt it, the humongous build-up of chakra, as sand shot up into the heavens. Back in the hidden leaf, everyone snapped their gaze towards the power fluctuation. On top of his toad, Jiraiya turned his gaze. What the hell, he said. They had worked out their dealings with the sand. What the hell was going on? As he looked towards the massive creature. I am free! Shikaku yelled, as his powerful voice resonated throughout the forest. Meanwhile, over to the side, a far distance away from Shikaku, the person in all black arrived, standing in front of none other than Naruto himself, as the person reached up and pulled off the mask to show that it was Naruto. However, he was older. He brought his hand together as the transformation vanished, revealing the normal Naruto standing there. It's done, boss, he said. Ah, good job, said Naruto. Now you did make sure that they didn't know it was you, right? I mean me. Of course. I completed the mission 100% clean. Trust me, they had no idea. Good. I can still use the sand, said Naruto. Alright, you've done Operation 1. Move on to Operation 2. Will do, the clone said as he placed on the mask once again. The clone then went off. As for Naruto, he lifted up his shirt before going through hand sign. Upon doing that, he slammed his hand on his stomach. Poof! A massive scroll. It was really large appeared as Naruto unfurled it. There was a complex sealing matrix on said scroll. As Naruto looked down towards it with a smile. Ah, now for you, big guy, said Naruto, as he then moved forward. Hey! Ugly, he yelled. His voice resonating all the way up to Shikaku, seeing that he amplified with chakra. Shikaku looked around. Are you talking to me? He said, sounding like an angry child. Yeah. What's it to you, ugly? Huh. You puny human. I'll squash you first. Shikaku raised his leg to stomp on Naruto until Naruto blurred through hand sign. Wood style, he said. 25 Buddha containment ceiling. He slammed both hands together. That is when gigantic hands came from the ground. All of them had a gem in the palm. Gigantic wooden hands. All of the gems started to light up. A green glow shot from them and slammed into Shikaku. Shikaku was confused. What is this? Why can't I move? What are you doing to me? He yelled. Just stay still, said Naruto, as he went through handstand once again. The ground under him shot a wooden pole straight up as Naruto was on top of it. It pushed him straight up toward Shikaku's forehead where Gaara was. Upon doing that, Naruto pushed Gaara back. He then brought his hand out and slammed it in Gaara's stomach. Gaara cried out, but his eyes were still closed to show that he was unconscious. Naruto then ripped his hand back, as a glow of chakra came with it. Naruto then jumped down, as he then slammed his hand on the scroll. The scroll then started to devour Shikaku's chakra. The beast tried to move, it tried to get away. It destroyed 2 of the wooden hands, but the other ones seemed to increase the amount of power, as it was draining on Naruto's chakra to do this. However, the amount of chakra that Naruto had was, well, it could be compared to a tail beast, and not any weak tail beast. As Naruto looked down toward the scroll, as he watched the chakra being pulled from Gaara into it, Shikaku roared as he tried to move. However, Naruto tightened his hand sign. The hands then gripped into Shikaku's body, despite it being sand, as Shikaku started to thrash around. They held on to him tightly, slowly restraining his actions, keeping him in place. Come on, come on, come on, said Naruto, wanting the thing to hurry up. Shikaku roared out, as slowly but surely the sand started to break apart. The chakra constantly being pulled from Gaara, and pull and pull and pull. This would have taken an extreme amount of time. However, the seal that Naruto had was nothing normal, nor was what he was doing to take the chakra from Gaara. The Buddha hands that he created was all connected. There was a kanji on the ground under all of them that ran towards the ceiling scroll. As Gaara was now on the ground, he was still unconscious, the chakra still being sucked out of him. As Naruto started to sweat, this was taking much more out of him than he actually thought. That was when Gaara groaned in pain, as his body then relented. It seems that the life was sucked out of him right there and then. The scroll then started to go blank before the kanji for 1 appeared at the top corner. A grin came on Naruto's face. As he watched, Gaara was no longer moving. The ceiling had stopped. With that said and done, Naruto quickly allowed the Buddha hands to vanish. He then rolled up the scroll. At the edge of the scroll, markings were on it, markings that belonged to the Uzumaki clan. Naruto then proceeded to seal it back in his stomach. You might ask, where were the other ninjas, or where was the forces coming to stop the Shikaku? Well, all of that was stopped, seeing that no one saw what just happened, given the fact that Naruto clone, the one that he sent to complete the next phase of his plan, had did his plan perfectly. Soon after, Naruto had used his wood style to wrap around Shikaku. Right before, a series of explosions went off. The entire foliage shook violently, followed by a gigantic, massive earth spike wall that erupted, blocking the sight of the beast. The constant sucking of Shikaku's chakra had completely reduced him in size, so even if the wall had fallen, which the ninjas were trying to do, they would not see what was going on. And not to mention, they were not alone. Someone else arrived beside Naruto. This one was wearing all grey. Is it done? Yes, I got them to safety. After knocking them out, the remaining children of the Kazekage are safe. Good, said Naruto. Was anyone able to see, despite the distractions? I'm 100% sure that everything went through without anyone noticing. Good, said Naruto as he rubbed his hands together. Everything is coming along perfectly. Naruto then brought his hand up to his ear. There was an earpiece in his ears. How is things on your end? Meanwhile, as Fu brought a hand up to her ears, it worked like a charm, she said, replying to Naruto on the other side. In her hand was a gigantic scroll, as she was in the secret basement of the Hokage's tower. You might ask, how she was able to get her hands on this scroll. Flashback, sometime earlier. As Fu had separated from Naruto when the invasion began, she made her way where she was alone. Once she did that, she lifted up her shirt as she looked towards her stomach. There was a completely other seal on her stomach, one that Naruto had applied to her. She slowly went through hand sign before she gathered her chakra. It then happened, she felt it. She felt the world around her changing as she was pulled. Pushed right through space and time. Think of it as a reverse summon. However, she found herself inside of the Hokage's tower. Upon arriving there, she did not hesitate to go through hand sign, as she tried to limit the chakra as much as possible. You see, her technique for hiding in scale powder was a fraction of the light, a reflection that was powered by a large amount of chakra. Therefore, she was able to enhance said reflection to a point where she could use it on herself, as to actually bend in light around her body. It wasn't going to make her completely invisible because there were several things that she could still be tracked by: scent, heat, and a lot. However, it did acquire the purposes. Seals were set up to scan for any human life form down here. But the moment she stepped into the scanning radius, the light fragment protected her from it. With another seal to the mix, a seal on her back started to glow. Said seal on her back that was glowing quickly spread as it seemed to make contact with the seal on the wall. For a moment there, it seems like it would give away her position until the seal seemed to power down. With that, Fu rushed right through. She quickly found the location that Naruto told her about, as she found the gigantic scroll. She could not believe that he think this ahead. One might think that Naruto was surprised when the Hokage, Jiraiya, and Kakashi had came in the room, well, to interrogate him. However, he plotted that. As earlier stated, he purposely gave away that he was here by allowing Kakashi to sense his chakra, knowing that the Hokage would bring those two along as well for something this important. Thus, he needed to buy time. Well, the clone did, because the real Naruto was off, sneaking into the Hokage tower. After going through the schematics that Kabuto had, which Kabuto was unaware for, Naruto had all the information he needed. Thus, once he had that done, he quickly placed a seal on the wall, something that would be undetected, covered by a layer of another seal. However, he could not place it inside of the exact location because the seals on the wall will complicate with them and cause it to clash against each other and alert the Hokage. So he had to play it outside. So Fu was the next choice. Of her skills of entering without anyone finding her, well, with him supplying her with seals to help her get through. Not even Orochimaru had a knowledge on sealing like the way Naruto had. There was a reason for that after all. Naruto had visited the birth home of the Uzumakis some time ago, but that flashback was for another time. At the moment, Fu got what she needed now. She just had to do this. Holding on to said scroll, kanji spread around her on the scroll, before once again she was sucked through. It was like being pulled through a tight tube, and once she was through, the next part her body felt a bit tingling. She almost fell over until Naruto grabbed her in his arms, seeing that the other seal was attached to him. "You okay?" he asks. She nodded. "Yeah, I'm fine." That is when Naruto clone dressed all in black appeared. Well, the invasion's a bus, and they're fleeing at the moment. Orochimaru and the Stone 4 has fled. The Hokage was unable to kill him. The Hokage used a Reaper Death seal. What? What did he seal off if he did not take his soul? Well, he sealed off his arms. Huh. Well, this will make things much easier. And here I thought I would have to go for a long-winded fight. And he must be tired by now, correct? As the clone nodded. What about the other two? Did you check on them? Yes. Sasuke and Mito are both fine, safely tucked away in the hospital. Good, said Naruto. Fu, hold on to me. As Fu wrapped her arm around his waist. It's time we had a little chat with my dear old dad. Naruto went through hand sign as he brought his hand together as the both of them were pulled away. They just seemed to blink out of reality, the clone melting into the ground and vanishing. Meanwhile, breaking through the gigantic wall that just popped out of nowhere was nothing easy, and then having to maneuver yourself around the gigantic spikes Who could have had enough chocolate to do something like this? However, the tail beast was no longer here. Konoha ninjas and sand ninjas had arrived on the scenery. The Konoha ninjas not trusting them, as Baki ensured them that this was not supposed to happen. Where is he? Where is he? Said Temari, as she was being supported by Kankuro. Hey look, what's that? Gaara? Gaara! She actually jumped right out of his arms, Temari, as she dropped right on the ground in pain. However, she started to crawl towards him. Gaara, she shouted, but he was not moving. As she arrived, she flipped him over and she saw his eyes, lifeless. Temari couldn't believe it. No, Gaara, she said. Gaara! Her and her younger brother got along when she was younger. But once, he went through several traumatic events, he was never the same. She always wanted for them to reconnect, to build a brother-sister relationship that they were denied. But here he was, now, as tears started to pool out of her eyes. The ninjas were confused, the Konoha ninjas to be exact. If the sand ninjas weren't behind this, then who the hell did this? None of this making any sense. Just what the hell is going on? Meanwhile, Orochimaru was tired. However, he had to keep on moving. The Sound 4 had created a big enough distraction. The wordless ninjas had stayed behind his cannon fodder, and him and the Sound 4 was now making their way. It did not take them long to arrive at the Valley of the End, to cross over the border to get back, as he wondered where the hell was Naruto. As they were about to leap, cross the waterfall, a blinding light went off. None of them were prepared. It came from above. All of their vision was taken away, even Orochimaru. But his senses kicked in. But he was just too tired and weak to do anything about it as a feat pressed into his face. The force sent Orochimaru sailing back as he slammed right into the statue of the first Hokage, his body pressing up against it. However, whatever hit him was not done as he felt something grab his throat. His arms were worthless right now, just being sealed away, they could barely move. The hand that gripped his throat tightened so tight before pulling him back and thrusting his head right into the wall. Orochimaru was actually caught off guard and slammed rather badly before whatever it was released him as he dropped down to his knees. He was in a pitiful state. Slowly but surely his vision started to clear up. But it can't be. There was only one person he knew that had the ability to use that technique. As he saw, glancing up, Naruto stood in front of him. Behind Naruto was Fu, hovering in mid-air. Orochimaru was baffled. Standing above and looking down towards him was his own son. Naruto, what are you doing? Bam! Naruto kicked him in the face as he was sent skidding before slamming into the wall. The Sound 4 was able to recover. What the hell is going on? Kidomaru said as he turned his wrath upon the boy, looking around towards Orochimaru, who slowly picked himself up. What is this? Said Jirobo. What are you doing? We have to get out of here. Why are you fighting your father? Be quiet, all of you. Teiwai narrowed her eyes. She figured a day like this would come. They wanted to say something but they did not. Maybe this was just a father and son squabble, and if they intervened they would die. Orochimaru picked himself up, blood dripping from his mouth. Naruto, what is this? What are you doing? And where were you? Orochimaru said, still trying to believe in his heart somewhere that he was on his side, but he knew that he was not. The thing was, Orochimaru was worried. Given the state that he was in and how strong Naruto was, he was deeply worried, as he didn't want to do something he was not ready for. It would ruin all of his plans. Father, father, father. You know, you told me yourself the weak doesn't survive long in this world. The weak is always devoured by the strong. And right now, would you look at our predicament? You're the weak, said Naruto. You rotten child. I am the one in charge. Your servitude, your loyalty is with me. Now stand down before I make you regret it. Stop this now and I'll let it slide, Orochimaru said, as he glanced up towards Fu. You there, girl. Speak some sense into him. I'm afraid I'm with him on this one. You asked for my loyalty when I first arrived to you. But you should know by now. There's only one person I'm loyal to. And that's Naruto, she said, as she folded her arms looking down towards him. Orochimaru frowned. He didn't have time for this. Konoha ninjas would be coming to see if they could finish him off. Anvus to be exact. He could not afford to waste time here. Stand down, Naruto, he yelled. No, said Naruto. The Zone 4 did not know what to do. They should attack, right? As they looked toward each other. Fine, Orochimaru said. You leave me no choice. A mark appeared above the snake's stunning chest, without him waving any hand sign. The ceiling on his chest started to glow. It was an X, with a circle in the center. It was glowing red. That is when Naruto gripped his chest and fell to the ground. I warned you, Orochimaru said. I don't know what has gotten into your head, however. I am still the one in charge, and I'll prove that to you. Now, Orochimaru said, about to inflict pain on Naruto until Naruto started to laugh. He slowly picked himself up, as he then moved his shirt. Huh, seems like it's gone. Orochimaru blinked in shock. How did I remove it? Father. You made me to be an intelligent being, don't you remember? You told me to always look underneath, study. Look for the best possible way to gain what I desire. Did you really think I would not check to see if you placed something to make sure I would be forever loyal to you on me? Come on now. You're smarter than that. How did you break it? There is no way that you could have broken it, said Naruto. Well, as you can see, it's gone. You see, father, your little tag of sealing on my heart inspired me to study something I never really was interested in. That being Fuinjutsu. And about a few years ago I found out that the greatest clan to ever wield Fuinjutsu was the Uzumaki clan. So I wonder what happened to them. So I went to search. And I found an island that I thought was abandoned. As Naruto grinned, but it was not. Orochimaru was shocked by that. What did you find? I'm afraid it does not matter now, does it? Said Naruto. I mean, you're gonna be dead soon. You think you can kill me? I created you, boy! Yes, you did. But now you're just a weak, shriveled up old man that is gonna die. Orochimaru looked towards the Zone 4. Stop him now! Naruto turned towards them. Before you guys run into your death. Listen up. As they looked towards him. I said stop him, Orochimaru yelled. If you guys do attack me, I'll kill every single one of you. And as you can see, my friend up there will not hesitate to rip your heads off either. And we all know who's stronger out of us and you guys. I mean, look at him. He's just a weak, shriveled up old man who can't even use his arms. Do you really think that he deserves to lead anymore? If you do, feel free to attack me. But I'll rip you apart, piece by piece. As Fu landed beside Naruto, you don't have to sully your hands with them. If they do attack you, I'll kill them myself, she said. As the wings on her back started to buzz even harder. Attack them now, Orochimaru yelled. The Zone 4, loyal to the master that gave them their mark, rushed forward. Go, said Fu. I'll handle them. As Naruto nodded before he blurred away. Fu flashed in front of the four of them before she took in a breath. They all jumped away as she released a violent gust of wind. As for Orochimaru, he jumped to the rocky surface. Once he landed, Naruto was upon him as Orochimaru opened his mouth. A snake slithered out. Said snake came towards Naruto, but he simply ripped it apart. However, a gas was released. Orochimaru knew of Naruto's poison intake and knew how much he could take. That was just to slow him down, but it did not, as Naruto burst right through it. Orochimaru jumped back as he leaped up on the stones, trying to get to a higher elevation as he saw Naruto coming for him. However, what he was not prepared for was for gigantic vines, the shot from the top coming down. As he saw a clone of Naruto standing there, his arm extended, Orochimaru tried to weave and dodge, but one of them tore right through his leg. The snake Sanin cried out in pain as his body was already coursing through pain, and now this just made it intensify. He was thrown. He could not switch. He could not regurgitate himself. He was screwed. A brutal kick slammed into his side as he could feel several of his ribs broke. Orochimaru rolled, his long black hair sticking across his face with sweat as he panted. He didn't have time for this. Guess I'll just take your body now, he said to himself. You shouldn't have done this, son. While I'm proud of you for taking on the initiative and trying to take someone like me out, you should know I am someone you cannot kill, Orochimaru said, and thus you will cease to exist. With that, Orochimaru opened his mouth as something came out. A monster. So this is what you've turned into, father, said Naruto. Huh, quite the abomination. You're one to talk, Orochimaru said. I know what you truly are. Remember, I created you. Yes, you did. And it's time that I unalive you, said Naruto. Orochimaru's body was comprised of thousands of white snakes. As his head was large, he was still severely weakened because of the whole ordeal, with the arms being sealed off and his body using up so much chakra to keep moving and running towards the Valley of the End. As he lashed out towards Naruto, who brought his hand out and slammed it right into his face. Naruto's hand, being covered by the steel release, cracked into the Sanin's face. However, Orochimaru's tail slammed right in his stomach, blasting Naruto through several rocks. Naruto jumped to his feet as he went through hand sign. He held his hand out as a gust of wind came down like a hurricane. The area was torn apart. Hundreds of Orochimaru's snakes were ripped and torn apart. The snake Sanin pulled back as Naruto landed. Enough! Time for you to die! Naruto went through hand sign. Crystal release. Naruto formed a gigantic dragon made from crystal. It roared and rushed towards Orochimaru. Orochimaru bared his fangs and lashed out towards it as they clashed. However, the thing had pierced several of his snakes. He was nowhere near to 100%, more like 20% give or take. And at this state he stood no chance. Orochimaru was covered in blood as the thing tore at his flesh. He destroyed it though as he rushed towards Naruto. Your body belongs to me, he yelled, rushing toward his son to take over his body. As Naruto rushed towards him as the both of them met until Naruto swallowed himself up like a ball as bones exploded out of him. The bones stabbed into Orochimaru's eye, another one stabbed right through his mouth. When Naruto unfurled himself, they ripped right out of him, tearing the Sanin apart. Blood and gore splashed everywhere as Naruto slashed and tore. Flesh and snakes were being ripped apart. Naruto kicked Orochimaru right into a boulder as he blasted through it. Naruto was not done yet though as he slammed his hand down. Wood style, he said. Ravine of death. Upon saying that, gigantic trees exploded out of the ground. But these trees had no flowers on them, no leaf. It was thorns. Jagged thorns that ripped into Orochimaru as he was left blocked up in a gigantic thorn-full trees. Orochimaru was bleeding. He was literally bathed in the thing by now. His whole white snake thing was completely red. As Naruto stepped forward, you cannot win, father. Not at the level that you're at right now. You can't even use your full power. And you know you cannot defeat me. And besides, said Naruto as his fangs started to extend. Black markings started to spread around his body. You're the one that created me. Orochimaru had a frightened look on his face. You know how powerful I am. You know what I can do. The more Naruto spoke, the darker his voice got. The special curse mark that was on Naruto's chest started to activate. As his eyes started to change, a growl that sounded demonic could be heard as Orochimaru was able to tear himself out of the vines. His body was a mess, but yet he was still standing, well, slithering. Well, father, said Naruto, his appearance completely different. Let's see how long you will last. Meanwhile, Drobo was currently face down into the ground. Teiwaya, had not engaged. She had not decided to engage. Kidomaru was missing his right arm. Fu had literally tore it off. Well, he had 6, so there was a big deal. Well, to him it was a big deal. As Seikon had Ukon out as well, the both of them panting. As Fu's body was starting to be enshrouded in a cloak of chakra by, well, the 7 tails. Her eyes became pupilless as she looked towards them. Naruto warned you, and yet you still decide to go against him. For that, I'll make you all suffer, she said. She glanced up. I see that you have not joined in the battle, Teiwaya. If you know what's good for you, stay where you are. Naruto actually like you more than the others, so do not interfere. I don't want to kill you. Unlike the others, you actually been helpful. As Fu turned her wrath upon the others, the bloodlust, the massive weight of chakra slammed down upon them. They had never known how truly terrifying she was. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was done. Well, his entire snake repertoire, all of them were gone. The place was disgusting. Every single snake had been smushed and destroyed. Naruto's shirt was completely gone, his pants were torn badly. Whatever happened, whatever transformation he undertook, it seemed to have physical changes on him as well. He was covered in blood, from head to toe. Orochimaru's blood was a literal poison that could subdue almost everyone, but here Naruto stood completely unaffected. Orochimaru had no idea what Naruto has been doing. He thought that Naruto has just been going to spas and enjoying the world outside while he did not return home. However, while he was doing those things, he was doing a lot more. At the moment, the snake Sanin head was the only thing that remained. Slowly but surely the head released Orochimaru, but this time he was completely naked. Not a shred of clothing, and he could not move. His body was covered in slime. He was just lying there, completely beaten and broken. As Naruto went and sat beside him, Orochimaru was looking up towards the sky. "You've bested me," he said. "Yes, I have," said Naruto. "At one of my weakest moments," Orochimaru said. I taught you well." "That you have, father. As much as I want to rip you apart, I do not have the power to do so. You knew this entire time what I was planning, to take over your body." "Of course I did," said Naruto. "I knew that you were preparing me. However, you believe that I was much weaker than you, well, thought, that my abilities had not fully surfaced. You hid them from me. But what about the tests?" Orochimaru said. "I falsify them," said Naruto. "I have more control over my body than you do. You know that, right?" "My genius son," Orochimaru said. "It seems I have raised quite the monster. I fear. For this world, know that you've set your sights upon it." "You should," said Naruto. "My plans are quite crazy." "Yes, because you are crazy," Orochimaru said. "Maybe you're right," said Naruto. "After all, what would the point be for you to lie to me right now?" "I guess there is none," Orochimaru said. "Well then, enough small talk. Konoha is on their way." "I can sense them," said Naruto. Orochimaru watched as Naruto got up. Naruto went through hand sign before. A slash appeared in his chest. It seems like he released some sort of genjutsu or some sort of funjutsu marker that held back that slash. "What is that?" Orochimaru said, knowing that his death was certain by this point. "Oh, this?" said Naruto. "This is what I've done to myself, just like you've turned yourself into a snake." "Well, I did something different," said Naruto. "I can't just kill you, father. I mean, you're still valuable. What you know, what you can do. Despite how weak you are right now, your life will help me a lot." As Orochimaru watched the slash in Naruto's chest open up, it opened up wide, and what Orochimaru saw shocked him, frightened, and surprised him. A few seconds later, Orochimaru was no more. There was no body, nothing remaining. He was just gone. As Naruto released a breath, his eyes closed. He opened his eyes as they switched from Orochimaru's eyes to his. Amazing, said Naruto. I told you that you would serve a purpose, father, he said to himself, seeing that Orochimaru was nowhere to be seen. Now, time to get a move on, said Naruto as he walked. Once he arrived, he saw Fu. She seemed to be using her own 3-tail worth of the power of the beast inside of her. However, it seems her efforts were worth it. Kinamaru's headless body lay on the ground, a few feet away from her. The remains of Seikon and Ukon were in pieces over to the side. Drobo had been split in half, right in his stomach. As Naruto turned his gaze, ah, lovely. It seems like you decide to stay on our side. Teiwa looked at him as Fu recited the power. What did you do to Orochimaru? Said Teiwa. Oh, he's gone, said Naruto. Forever. However, that's not important. I'm glad that you decide not to fight. I did tell Fu that I like you better than the others. Did she tell you that? Of course I did, said Fu as she came over. Teiwa looked towards the both of them. They were acting like nothing just happened. So, said Naruto, let's get a move on. Konoha is coming, and I don't want to deal with him right now. Come on, Teiwa, you chose your side. There's no need to hide it now. Teiwa sighed. She knew that if she had fought this girl, she would have been ripped apart without a shred of mercy, so she had stayed back while her teammates were ripped apart and gutted. However, she chose her side. She was following the two craziest people she knew. Maybe it wasn't going to be so bad. What was she saying? They're lunatics. Of course it's going to be bad. But it's better than being ripped apart. Yeah, much better, she thought. But guys, me and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But most of all, see you guys soon. Peace.